Alright. Time for part 3. The Tin Soldier. Meanwhile, Porky gets away scot-free. Okay, I'm going to take a small break. I'll be back in about 5 minutes. And I apologize for that loud-ass noise. I did it. Taco did it. Alright, folks, time for case 3. And unfortunately, this will be the last one for the evening. But this one is supposedly a
May we
doozy.
be of some assistance, Inspector Smythe?
General Farnsworth Armstead, one of the 6 surviving Waterloo Tontine ticket holders, has been murdered.
Waterloo Tontine?
The Waterloo Tontine was a lottery of sorts, Watson. It was set up in 1815 to aid the veterans of the Battle of Waterloo. Wellington's victory over Napoleon.
Yes, of course, I knew that.
Quite an ingenious plan on the part of the founders. £1 bought a ticket in the name of some young relative. The ticket proceeds amounted to over £1 million. Half went immediately to veterans and their families for medical and hardship expenses.
What became of the other half?
It all went into an account at the Bank of England, where it's been collecting interest all these years.
Very clever. And how does one win this prize?
Simply by outliving all the other ticket holders.
And now you say one of them has been murdered. Very suspicious. Who are the remaining 5?
The oldest is Captain Robert Jurgens, age 82. Then there are Nita and Claire Thomas, who are 80-year-old twins. William Rowland is 79, and Peter Dudley is 77. Poor General Armstead was the youngest at 74.
Seems as if he would have had the best chance to outlive the others.
I recall reading something in the Times about a big to-do involving the Tontine survivors on the 18th.
That's correct. The Waterloo anniversary banquet at the Langham Hotel.
Why is the name Armstead familiar?
He was a noted art collector, I believe. He also authored a well-known book, Treasures of the Conquerors.
Quite right. At the time of his death, General Armstead was working on a revised edition for his publisher, Norgate and Company. It was to contain an entirely new chapter on a fabulous diamond called the Polar Star, which at one point belonged to Joseph Bonaparte, Napoleon's brother. The general had new information which traced the gem to its present owner.
Tell me about the circumstances of General Armstead's death.
Oh, yes, of course. Well, let me see. At 10 o'clock this morning, the general's valet, David Sennett, admitted a call to the general's study. Sennett says he did not know the man. He was elderly and spoke with a French accent. Sennett told him the general never saw anyone in the morning while he was at work. The gentleman insisted that if Armstead read the letter he had with him, he would make an exception. And so it was. Sennett took the letter in, Armstead read it, and went quite pale. He told Sennett to let the gentleman in. Sensing something amiss, Sennett dawdled in the area of the study for the next 15 minutes or so. Then he heard the distinct sound of swordplay. He tried to enter the study, but found the door locked. Then he heard the crash of breaking glass. He raced to the kitchen and out the back door to enter the study from the garden. By the time he got there, the caller had vanished, and the general was leaning heavily against a shattered display case of military miniatures. Before Sennett could assist him, he dropped a saber from his hand and fell over dead.
And I take it the letter, which so upset the general, was nowhere to be found.
Correct, Mr. Holmes.
Well, we shall put our brains and our feet to the task.
So, what we know so far is that Mr. Armstead is dead. He was dead via an old man with a French accent. And he was killed in a sword fight. That, and he was a Waterloo Tontine survivor. Let's go ahead and check out the remaining names on the notepad here.
Ellis, my good man, what can you tell us about the Tontine story?
Time does take its toll, doesn't it? Back in 1865, the Times sponsored a 50th anniversary banquet. I'm quite sure I wasn't out of my pram, but I understand there were 204 survivors at the time. Now there are only 6. Pardon me, 5. Now that the poor general has been skewered.
Hall's assistant says he's in court and will be there all day. Pity.
General Armstead. Believe I know that name in connection with the Polar Star Diamond. Believe it was once owned by the Russian Count Rostov, some rich old duffer. Towards the end of '87, somebody pinched it.
Do you happen to know who?
Nobody knows for certain, mind you, but the word on the street was the thief was a Frenchie by the name of André Martin. Had quite a reputation as a jewel thief, he did, though his reputation was based mostly on rumor. Just before the Polar Star was lifted, he had been seen in St. Petersburg. A few months later, his body was found floating in the Thames.
Drowned?
No, he had been strangled. The crime was never solved, and the diamond was never found.
See what the good inspector has to say.
Do you people have nothing better to do with your time than to interfere in police matters? Well, don't bother with this one. We have the matter under control. I've compiled a list of suspects, which you may not see. I intend to ask each one for an alibi, and the suspect unable to supply one is our killer. Quite scientific, really. Now, off with you.
Oh, that's good. That's a hoot and holler, isn't it? Doing like 5 things at once. See what the library's got regarding this case.
The librarian was kind enough to write down all the information. Evidently, tontine comes from the name of Lorenzo Tonti, the Neapolitan banker who introduced the system into France in the 17th century. The Battle of Waterloo took place on June 18, 1815. It is so named because it took place near the town of Waterloo in Belgium. The combined British and Prussian forces routed Napoleon's army, proved to be his final and worst defeat.
Dear Watson, whatever would I do without you?
Heaven only knows, Holmes.
That told us nothing. Are you sure you're a doctor, Mr. Watson? Jack in the chat is still convinced that Porky is guilty of something.
Can you tell us what did him in, Sir Jasper? A sword through the heart, a smart upward thrust.
Wow. Not going there yet. Melee.
I'm here regarding the Armstead case. I take it this is the saber he had in his hand at the time of his death?
Aye, indeed it is. A lovely thing to behold, isn't it? Unfortunately, it yielded very little evidence. The top hat had traces of dust all along it, indicating it had been unused for quite some time. I did notice on the point a tiny amount of fresh blood. The general must have scratched his opponent. I'm sorry, Whitson. That's all the information to be gathered from this beautiful masterpiece. En garde!
That's Watson, sir. Watson.
Sorry to disappoint you on this one, Holmes. I can't uncover a bit of incriminating information on a single one of the remaining Tontine ticket holders. All of those who led eventful lives are dead as a result. It appears the survivors have outlasted the others because they have led such quiet lives.
The good general married into a considerable fortune when he took Lord Finch's spinster daughter, Mary, off his hands. Mary's brother, the present Lord Finch, was opposed to the marriage from the very beginning, and there was still considerable friction between him and the general. But through holdings which the general inherited from Mary, he and his former brother-in-law were in business together. Ah, the ironies of life, eh?
Why do you think Malcolm Fitch was so opposed to the marriage?
Well, I'm not sure, but it had something to do with the general's reputation with the ladies. Of course, this was before my time. Now, I'm not certain he can be of any help to you, but you might want to check with my illustrious predecessor, Mr. Lloyd Shoemaker.
I'll make a note of that.
You know, of course, the general wrote a book about art collectors and included some less than chivalrous details about how a few of them had come by their collection. One man, Carson Cabot, a gem collector, was quite incensed by being so named. In fact, he accosted Armstead and fractured the general's collarbone.
I understand that the general was going to include a chapter on the Polar Star diamond in his revised book. Would you happen to know if Cabot had anything to do with that particular gem?
Well, I can't be certain, but being the collector he is, I wouldn't be surprised if he didn't already have it in his possession.
Bloody shame it was about General Armistead's death.
How touching, Shinwell. You're really grieved to see him pass on.
Well, sure, I had me money on him. I should have trusted me instincts and gone with one of the ladies.
Captain Jurgens doesn't seem to have had much of a following, even at 25 to 1.
Nah, that's just Booth Lacey and his cronies, and that's really a sentimental bet. You see, Jurgens is Lacey's uncle.
Is there any mention of the Tontine Fund in the General's will?
None. It simply states that Farnsworth Armstead's entire estate is to be used to form the Armstead Foundation, an organization to be dedicated to the study of military history.
True Shade. What? The LKM, it stands for the Lord Cad Mafia. As in lordcat.com. Okay, now let's look up the Tontine survivors. Let's start with Robert Juergens. The old geezer says his no-good nephew Booth Lacey has eye on the Tontine money. Also thought you'd like to know Juergens gets about on a cane.
Pity. It appears that no one is in.
However can you tell, Holmes?
There is a sign on the door that says, "We are gone for the day."
How terribly observant, Holmes.
It's elementary, my dear Watson.
More like kindergarten. Landlady says Lacey's always buttering up to his uncle, some bloke called Captain Juergens. She also said we could find Lacey at the Red Bull Inn.
What did you discover, Watson? He wasn't in, Holmes, though his landlady suggested we might try the Red Bull Inn. The woman practically talked my ear off, went on and on about how Lacey constantly plays up to his uncle, Captain Juergens, who's one of those old gents with the ticket in the tontine. Thought she'd never hush up.
Well, let's give ourselves some wings and go to the Red Bull Inn. Great place to knock down a couple of pints. By the way, that Lacey wasn't there. He headed over to London Bridge Station.
I was wondering if you'd seen a Mr. Booth Lacey around here today.
Nope. Must be my lucky day.
Well, then, if it's your lucky day, why not spread some good cheer in the form of a pint and some food to that unfortunate chap standing outside your door? Poor bloke is missing an arm and a leg.
That poor bloke's your one and only Booth Lacey. Well, the whole thing's an act. He's as normal as you and me. Spends half his time begging out front and the other half swindling folks down at London Bridge Station.
Okay, now we go to the London Bridge Station.
Mr. Lacey, I see you still make your living by strapping your arms and legs behind you and fooling the poor public out of its tuppence.
Man's got to make a living somehow. What can I do for you, Holmes?
I want to ask you about the murder of General Armstead.
General who?
Really, Lacey. Perhaps you can fool some of the public some of the time, but you can never fool Sherlock Holmes.
Oh, that General Armstead.
Where were you at 10 o'clock this morning?
Where else would I be? I was at church.
You, Lacey, at church. It hardly seems like it.
I swear, at St. Mary's. They pass out soup and bread every morning at 9:30. The father will vouch for me. You can even ask him.
I may just do precisely that.
So evidently St. Mary's can vouch for Booth Lacey's alibi. The father sees Lacey every morning at the soup kitchen. We may make it a regular stopping place ourselves.
I was wondering, Father, if you happen to know a man by the name of Booth Lacey.
I should say that I do. I see him every morning.
At Vespers?
Wish that it were. No, at our soup kitchen. We can pray for the unfortunates of this world, certainly, but we can also offer them a little sustenance of a more nourishing kind. Every morning at 9:30, our doors are thrown open to those less privileged than ourselves. And every morning, without fail, Booth Lacey is here.
You're certain of that?
I am. You see, with only one arm, he needs someone to carry his bowl to the table. Invariably, I am that someone.
Well, that lead went nowhere. What about the next one? Dudley. Peter Dudley. A right regular bloke. Says he never met the general.
Sorry, Holmes. No information here.
Then let's not dawdle, Watson. There's work to be done.
Okay, next one is William Rowland. Said he knew the general and was sad to hear of his death. Seemed like a right nice bloke. He's leaving to visit his son in America for a month. I'm sure he can't be a suspect.
How unfortunate. There's not a soul in sight.
Pity.
Time to go see the sisters. These old biddies made our heads spin. And if you go there yourself, don't take tea. You stay and they'll talk your ear off.
Would you care for some tea?
Thank you, no.
It's really quite good. We were just going to have some ourselves.
I really won't be staying long.
We get visitors so seldom.
Did you know the general?
We suppose he was at the last anniversary banquet. But we don't believe we ever met him. We were so sorry to hear of his death. It is such a pity.
Well, so I imagine you ladies have thought about what you do if you won the tontine money.
We have no living relatives, so there's no one to share it with should we win. We need very little to get by on. Undoubtedly, we would leave it to the Ladies' League for the Preservation of Finches.
Evidently they like birds. But Lord Malcolm. This stuffy bloke wouldn't let us pass front gate. Nervy sot.
I admit I strongly disliked Armstead. He was the cad who made my sister's life miserable. I argued at length with my father against the marriage, but to no avail.
But what was your sister's opinion at the time?
Well, unfortunately, Mary was not the attractive sort who had scores of suitors. My father was afraid she'd be left a spinster. The engagement was arranged just before Armstead went to France. During the year he was gone, I had him watched and discovered he was in the thick of some scandal involving a young French girl.
And you told your father?
Well, he wouldn't listen. I even went so far as to give the story to the newspapers. But my father got wind of it and used his influence to prevent its publication. I would have done anything to keep my sister away from that man.
Including murder?
Why, that's preposterous. Well, surely you don't think... I was scheduled to meet with Armstead today. But you see, my wife took ill. I spent the whole morning attending to her here until Dr. Ainstree arrived at around 11 o'clock.
Let's see. Ainstree. There we go. The good doc says he saw Lord Fitch at 10 o'clock.
We understand you were summoned to Lord Fitch's residence this morning.
Quite right. I received the message at around 9 o'clock and arrived at their home by 10. Lord Fitch met me at the door.
Oh, I burped.
How in the world did you hear about it so soon, Mr. Holmes? The body's still warm. Couldn't have happened more than 10 minutes ago.
Body? What body?
Well, the one what's upstairs in 203.
We're here for something else, actually. Looking for Pierre Martin.
Well, that's the very fellow what was done in.
Well, tell me, young man, do you know what transpired?
Well, Mr. Matson checked into the hotel on the 8th. He was a Frenchman. I didn't speak to him much.
Who discovered the body?
I did. But I came along to his room to deliver a wire. Here it is, sir.
Information still valuable. See me, Wells, Osborne, Norgate and Company, publishers. Tell me, did you see anyone suspicious hanging about?
No. No, sir. Well, actually, now that I think about it, there was a rather large man with a foreign accent. Russian, I think. He said that he wasn't sure about the address and that he'd only just arrived in London. He asked for Mr. Mattin, and I sent him straight up. Well, he was rather well-spoken and well-mannered. I didn't think anything of it at the time. A few minutes later, he came down. He was practically running. I saw him go out the front door and hail a cab.
Was there anything amiss in the room?
I'll say. An inkwell was toppled on its side. Left an awful mess on the carpet. Big blue spots and inky footprints right the way to the door. The manager will be in a fret when he sees it. Fortunately, there was no blood.
Perhaps he was strangled.
Awful lot of choking going on here. Yeah, may as well hit up the Russian embassy.
Count Rostov, Watson.
Count Rostov, Holmes?
According to the woman at the embassy, he is the only Russian national who has arrived in London in the past few days.
But how will we find him?
He's staying at De Kaiser's Royal Hotel.
However did you deduce that, Holmes?
Elementary, my dear Watson. I asked.
The Kaiser's Royal Hotel. Rostov's valet, some bloke named Vladimir, was the one who first found Matin's body.
Are you from the police?
Were you expecting the police?
I was. My valet, Vladimir, reported to me that his interview with Pierre Matin was decidedly unproductive, as he was dead when Vladimir arrived.
I see. Tell me, why did he go to see Matin in the first place?
It was in reference to a certain valuable possession of mine that was stolen some years ago by Pierre's brother, Andre. I was in Paris, and I read in the London Times that General Armstead was to revise his very interesting book to include a chapter concerning that possession. Originally, I came here to visit him.
Then, how did you discover Matin's whereabouts?
Shall we say, someone made me aware that Matin was also in London, that he was the general source of information. But when the General Armstead was reported dead, I had no other alternative but to pay a call on Matin. So I sent Vladimir, an old man's legs, you understand, to speak with him.
Okay. Let's hit up the French embassy, because we got some Frenchmen here in the city. He did tell us that he and the general were in war college together. While in France, Armstead had an affair with a French girl. I believe he was engaged to Mary Fitch at the time. Gerard said he called her horse-face because he was so ugly. I wonder why he didn't marry the French girl.
Farney and I spent over a year quartered together in France in war college. We became the best of friends.
Did you know much of the General's personal life at the time?
He always put the rest of us to shame in the matters of love. Said it was because we had no horse face to spur us on.
Did the General have a passion for horses?
Mon Dieu, no. He was engaged to a terribly unattractive woman by the name of Mary Fitch. Behind her back, that's what he called her. Horseface.
How dreadful. Whatever became of her?
She eventually became Mrs. Armstead and brought her great fortune to the marriage. I believe that Farney looked upon his stay in France as his last great fling.
Are you saying that there was no particular woman at the time?
I did not say that. There was one, but I never met her. My little flower, he called her. I remember one night he could not sleep.
He was slightly drunk, and he kept rambling on about promises that must be kept and promises that couldn't be. Finally, he collapsed on the bed with such sadness in his eyes I will never forget it. "Ma Fleurette," he said. How very touching.
Have you seen much of the General over the years?
We have always maintained our friendship through correspondence, until last week, that is. It was the first time we had seen each other in over 40 years. We had supper, and then went to see the French actor Philippe Arnaud perform. The General commented that my presence beside him while French was being spoken reminded him of the old days.
So your visit went well?
Exceedingly well.
Can you think of anything that might have been troubling him?
No, the General was in excellent spirits. He joked about the upcoming Tontine celebration at the Langham, and he was very enthusiastic about the new information concerning the Polar Star. In fact, this week he was supposed to meet with a countryman of mine about it. It is hard to believe that my good friend is gone.
What does the Ladies' League for the Preservation of Finches have to say? Chaired by Porky Shinwell. There's your motive. There's some Frenchy play going on at the Princess with a line going around the block. Sorry, Holmes, but we didn't have time to wait.
Oh, but you must see Philippe perform. My nephew is an artist, a wonder. He manages to portray the Emperor Napoleon from age 19 until his last days on the island of Savarney. You would swear 5 different actors playing the part, but no, it is only Philippe aging before your eyes. At 48, he's the toast of the conflict.
You seem rather young to be the uncle of a 48-year-old man.
I am but 8 years older than Philippe, though I can assure you I am his uncle. You might say that our family has a history of late arrivals. Philippe's father was 25 years older than myself, and Philippe's poor sister was 15 years older than he.
Why do you say poor?
She died many years ago under tragic circumstances. In fact, her mother was so upset over her daughter's death that she was put into an asylum. We received word yesterday from the asylum that she had also passed away. It upset Philippe very much, resurrecting old ghosts, as you might say. But we have been playing for enthusiastic audiences for several weeks. As we say in the business, the show must go on. And Philippe is a trooper. He would never allow it to affect his performance.
Can you tell us where Philippe Arnaud is this morning? We should like very much to meet him.
Well, he is not here now. Our company is staying at the Grand Hotel. However, I believe today he is visiting the National Gallery. But if you would come back this evening, I will have tickets awaiting, and after the show, you're welcome to come backstage and meet him.
I have a question. Chat room, who do you suspect? Don't know. Yeah. I don't know either. Let's pursue this last one and see where it goes.
How fortunate that Inspector Lestrade authorized the hotel manager to allow us to search Philippe Arnaud's room.
Perhaps we can return the favor and solve a case for him someday. Today, for example. Let's look around.
How strange that a man who requires a cane would leave without it.
Perhaps he doesn't require it for walking.
Look here at the handle. Well, that could certainly give a fellow a start.
Precisely, Watson. Look here. It appears to be a letter.
Looks quite old. It's addressed to Captain Armstead, 12th Hussars. Shall I read it?
Please do.
Dearest, how I hated you for leaving me, but the child, our child, eased my heartache and muted the hate. Now my sweet baby is dead. How cruel that the innocent must suffer for the sins of others. Now I have nothing. Now I am nothing. I cannot bear the pain. Goodbye, I love you still, Fleurette. How tragic. Why, perhaps this is the very letter that the General read.
Good thinking, Watson.
It's time.
It appears as if we've jumped the gun a bit. A tad more work is necessary before we can attempt the final cross-examination. Please carry on with the investigation.
Wait, what? Oh. We haven't seen the General.
I found the General leaning over the display case. He had his saber in hand, the one that usually resides above the fireplace.
I understand he was a collector of military figures.
Yes, the display in the study shows the last great British charge that swept the French from Waterloo.
Is there any significance to the fact that the figure of Napoleon is facing backward?
Oh, strange. Perhaps I should go and set it straight.
No, don't touch it. Not until the police have concluded their investigation.
Oh, yes, of course.
I also noticed the portrait over the display case.
The late Mrs. Armstead.
Do I detect a note of hostility?
I must admit we did not get on very well. But I might say that Mrs. Armstead did not get on very well with anyone, including the General.
You mean they didn't marry for love?
Hardly. Lord Fitch, Mrs. Armstead's father, arranged the match. Her dowry was very generous. Lord Fitch would have paid any amount to ensure that he would not be left with a spinster daughter, especially such a nasty one.
If there was no love lost, but keep her portrait in his study.
Actually, it was put up there to needle Mrs. Armstead's brother, the present Lord Fitch. He never approved of the marriage. Even after her death, they were involved with mutual business affairs. They jointly owned stock or some such thing.
Tell me, do you know what the General was doing at the time the intruder arrived?
Yes, he was working on the new section of his book. The part that concerns the gem, the Polar Star. It was very interesting, really. It traces the ownership of the gem to the brother of Napoleon, to the Russian Count Rostov. Unfortunately, the gem was stolen from the Count 3 years ago. As a matter of fact, the General just received a letter from a Pierre Montan, who said that he was willing to divulge the name of the present owner of the gem for the agreed-upon fee.
Do you know where Mr. Montan might be found?
I believe he's staying at the Bridge House Hotel.
Did the General have any encounters with anyone out of the ordinary in the past several days?
Not really. An old friend of his has been in town, Jean-Paul Girard. Neither the General nor I have seen him in 40 years. In fact, they were going to meet this afternoon at the French Embassy.
I'm obviously curious about the General's last visitor. Could you describe him, please?
He was an old man, a rather short fellow. He walked with a cane and carried a carpetbag.
Did he give a name?
No. He simply wanted to see the General, and he handed me a letter to take into him.
Did you read it?
No. It was in an envelope, rather yellowed with age, though I noticed it was addressed in a graceful hand to Captain Armstead, 12th Hussars, the General's old regiment. When the General read it, he went very pale. Then he asked me to admit the gentleman.
Tell me, when you finally got into the room from the garden, were the study doors still locked?
Yes.
I noticed that there is an 8-foot fence surrounding the garden, and that the only way into the garden or out of it is through the kitchen door or the study. How terribly observant, Holmes.
Hear ye, hear ye. The Queen's Court stands in order. I see we have the pleasure of your company today, Mr. Holmes. I understand you've been investigating the murder of General Farnsworth Armstead.
That's correct, my lord, and I believe I have solved the case.
Do you now? Well, then tell me, who murdered the General?
I believe we're to choose from either our notebook or the directory, Holmes.
As usual, Watson, your help is invaluable.
Let's go ahead and review our notes first. General Farnsworth Armstead, dead. He was a Waterloo Tontine survivor. Last visitor was an old man with a French accent. 15 minutes later, swordplay, then pierced through the heart. He had a thing for women, and the statue of Napoleon was turned around. Booth Lacey, swindler, he was... It was seemingly a wild goose chase, so we can rule out Booth Lacey. No problem there. Anita and Claire Thomas, they finishes each other's sentences like Tomax and Zaymod of Cobra fame. Lord Malcolm Fitch. Ugly sister was made fun of by Armstead. Arranged marriage. Called Horseface. Learned that Armstead was hooked up with a French girl. Bridge House Hotel. Pierre Martin, French guy murdered. Saw a large Russian man. One thing led to another. We went to the French embassy. And in Philippe Arnaud's hotel room, we found a cane with a sword inside, with a letter about someone being dead. Folks, I think this one sort of writes itself.
A brilliantly logical deduction, Holmes.
Thank you, my lord.
Now tell us, why was the General killed?
Why was the General killed? To get him out of the running for the Tontine prize money, to avenge the honor of Arnaud's sister Fleurette, to prevent the publication of the revised edition of Treasures of the Conquerors, or because of his marriage of convenience to Mary Fitch. obvious.
Now tell me, gentlemen, what was the general trying to say when he turned around the figure of Napoleon?
He wasn't trying to say anything. The figure was turned accidentally during the struggle. War, like murder, is an exercise in futility. The sword that killed him was identical to the one Napoleon carried at Waterloo. Or his murderer was the actor who was playing Napoleon, Philippe Arnaud. D.
Rather clever of the old boy now, wasn't it?
Indubitably. A man who keeps his wits about him to the last has my undying admiration.
I was wondering, just for the record, could you tell us what the general used to call his wife?
My Fleurette, Old Moneybags, Horseface, or Rich Fitch. Why is this even a question? Did they just not have enough quiz questions for the case? Were they running out of time?
Congratulations, gentlemen. This was a difficult case.
On the contrary, my lord, it was elementary.
That's what you think. Nonetheless, the good people of London are forever in your debt. We thank you.
My pleasure, my lord.
My word, dear Holmes. Perhaps we are in the wrong business altogether. If we had been top-notch, we should have cracked this case in 26 points. I think I will ring up the university immediately and see if we might enroll in a detective course.
You say you've come up with a solution, and yet you sit there calmly cleaning your meerschaum. Please, Holmes, tell me what you've uncovered.
Of course, Watson. It's quite simple, really. The most intriguing fact about this murder was the method. Mr. Sennett's report that he heard the distinct sound of swordplay struck me as most odd. It suggested an affair of honor. At General Armstead's home, my suspicions were confirmed. The old letter addressed to Captain Armstead, a rank he'd held some 40 years ago, suggested that it must have concerned something from the past, something that was clearly upsetting to him. That was the reason for the duel.
But how can you be so sure there was a duel?
Simple reasoning, my dear Watson. The general had time to place his chair against the wall, climb upon it, and retrieve a saber. The murderer allowed him to arm himself. A duel is the only event that fits with the facts.
Are you sure the caller carried a sword? I thought all he had with him was a carpet bag and a cane.
Perhaps it only appeared to be a cane.
Ah, yes.
The intruder was described as an old man, yet he left the premises over an 8-foot wall. Clearly he was in disguise, and carried off the ruse with enough expertise to completely fool the general's manservant. The carpet bag must have been used as the receptacle of the disguise when it was no longer needed.
Positively clever of you, Holmes. But what made you think it was Arnaud?
Well, since we were looking for someone adept at the art of disguise, Gerard's mention of the actor Philippe Arnaud struck a chord. Also, Arnaud plays Napoleon. No small coincidence.
What are you getting at, Holmes?
When the general turned round at the figure of Napoleon, he was trying to tell us that his murderer was Napoleon. Or rather, the actor playing Napoleon, Philippe Arnaud.
So Arnaud killed the general to avenge his long-dead sister's honor. Ah, well, unlike most of our cases, this motive was closer to the heart than to the pocketbook.
Quite so, Watson. When Arnaud's sister Fleurette was an impressionable young girl, she fell madly in love with the dashing English captain. When he left, she took her own life.
So pathetic.
Wait, there's more. Fleurette's grief-stricken mother went mad and was sent into an asylum. Thus, in the twinkling of an eye, little Philippe Arnaud, who was but a child himself, lost both his mother and his sister.
So sad. I'm sure he was too young to understand the circumstances that caused it.
Yes, but 4 decades later it all became clear when he found a letter written by his sister. It yielded an explanation and a name. Armstead. He came to London armed with that letter, and a sword came.
But he was here for several weeks before he did the deed.
Yes, and he might not have done it at all had it not been for the news of his mother's death. That was the final blow. He went straight away to the General's home to take his revenge. Voila.
Positively brilliant, Holmes. How do you do it?
His pipe cleaner, of course.
I find it interesting that there's no credits. I mean, that's just simply the end of the game. There's no congratulations for finishing all 3 cases. So, the end. Aye, there were two Sherlock Holmes games. And I do have the second one, but I'm going to save that for tomorrow night. But I am going to do one more game before I knock off for the night. I do want to get one last game in before I knock off for the night. Because it is getting kind of late. Absolute. They actually made a Sega CD game of this. So you can have up to 3 save games.
How many players?
How many players? I am serious. I'm a fun-loving guy. I'm also a fun-loving guy, but I'm also white. Not even gonna go there. I wonder if they ever gave this as the home version of the game. Oh no, it animates. Your name shall be Derp.
Is the top dollar value for round 1.
Thank you, Skeletor. I mean, Vanna. Okay, we know it's a place. Are you gonna Are you gonna load up? Oh, it's still loading. Okay. 90s Vanna. It was also the mid-90s. Wow, this thing's taking forever to load. What the fuck? That outfit, my eyes. And the worst part about this is sped up 8 times. Consider the fact that the Sega CD is a single-speed device. And it's already taken about 30 seconds. Enough for me to want to just end it. Can't I speed this up? Overdrive! Oh no, it's sound overdrive. Never mind. Fuck. Fast forward. Can I fast forward through the loading? My god, it's going to take forever, isn't it? Fuck this. No, fuck this. What else can I put on? Machines have suddenly begun to malfunction worldwide. A nasty computer virus has created software bugs in the computer network server, which will infect every device on the planet. There? A new software program has been developed to deal with the situation. The program, codenamed Panic, was designed to destroy the virus. Evidently, the only way you can save the game is with a RAM cart. We will fix this now.
Heat up. Yoo-hoo.
Okay, I'll be back in a second. Okie dokie, time to begin. Okay, we have 4 buttons. I'm gonna let you decide which one I should push. Chat room, what do you think? The chat room says down left. I will choose down left. Okay, which button should I press? Purple, green, yellow, or blue? Blue, you say? Well, we notice that the vacuum cleaner goes insane when we press the blue button. We still have the purple, green, and yellow buttons. Pink. Let's see what the pink button does. More apeshittery. All that's left is the yellow and green buttons. Green. I seem to be in a different place. Should I press up, down, plus, minus, pause, stop, or power? I'm guessing that's what the red button is. We shall go up. Alright, show of hands. Is this essentially what the game or what? Next one, down. What does down do? Okay, what button do we press next? Minus. We're in a new place. Okay. Okay, do we press the left eye, right eye, the nose, left lip, or right lip? Or mouth, whatever. Put gem in mouth. If only I could. By the way, welcome Kid Grim. How's it going? That or gouge out eye. Sounds like an idea. Which one? Do I go for the left eye or the right eye? The right eye it is. We still have the left eye, the nose, and both sides of the mouth. How's it going, Enforcer? Today we're playing Switch Panic, a game comprised entirely of buttons. What button does what? I will let you, the chat, decide. Okay, since we have more people in here, Jack is suggesting the nose. Should I go with the nose, or should I go with another part of the face here? We've already taken care of the right eye, which made Frankenstein shrink down to a midget. There's also the left eye, the nose, and the left-right mouth. Alright, let's go with the nose.
Bang.
Bing. Evidently, poking him in the nose makes him puke out pink stuff. All that's left now is the left eye and both sides of the mouth. Damn you, Pepto, you were supposed to help. We got 2 votes for the left mouth. Evidently, that leaves the scene. Okay, nothing could go wrong with the elevator, right? We got the up and down arrow. Which way do we go? We have a split. We have one saying down and one saying up. We need a tiebreaker. not sure about the use stairs option. All I know is the buttons that's in front of me. We need an up and down. Up or down, which one? We currently have a split vote. I will be going down. Wow, evidently it was a clown elevator. Okay, we have open doors, shut doors, 3, 2, 1, and call for emergency. Chat room, I shall leave this up to you. One vote for emergency. 2 votes for emergency. That's good enough for me. Okay, calling for emergency makes the elevator shrink. So we got floors 1, 2, 3, open door and shut door. Closed doors. This is what makes you leave the scene. We have 7 buttons, each of them doing something different. We got the 2 on the top, we got the 3 in the middle, and the 2 on the bottom. Jack Myhov has lost his mind. Okay, we got 1 vote for the very, very middle. We don't know, and neither will you. Evidently pushing the one in the middle makes it puke. Interesting that a lawnmower would drink soda. If only we could make all of our automotive engines rely on let's see, carbonated soda, high fructose corn syrup. That's it. We got one vote for bottom left and one for the top left. Let's go with the bottom left first since it was given out first. Oh no, we've got 2 votes for top left. We'll go with the bottom left since it was the other one guessed.
Ah! That's funny! I always thought there was a light at the end of the tunnel! Oh well, I guess not!
No comment. Okay, 1 vote for the right button. Another vote for the middle right button. Looks like we will be going for the middle right button. Okie dokie, folks. But seriously, is this like one of those insane PS1 games they had in schools? Yeah, the Enforcer pretty much nailed it. This is a Sega CD game. In fact, I think it was one of the last Sega CD games that was ever made. Bottom green. We have 1 vote for bottom green. So we are going with the bottom green. Evidently the couch has buttons. Suddenly heaven. Duck face heaven. Quack, 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 quack. Okay, the next candidate is the top green. The top green button. What does the top green button do? It leaves the room.
What leaves the room? What leaves the room?
That button we just pressed.
Oh, okay. What is this?
This is a game called Switch Panic.
Okay.
Actually, actually over here it's simply called Panic, but over in Japan it's called Switch. So I call it Switch Panic.
Okay.
But the idea is that a computer virus was unleashed upon the computer network and is now infecting every single device on the planet Earth.
Wunderbar.
And therefore we have to go in and clear out the virus.
That's not how computers work. Okay.
And on every single scene in the game,
Yeah.
every button except for one does something caca cuckoo with the room.
Okay. It can't be any worse than freaking American Horror Story.
I don't know.
Dude, I'm sleeping with the lights on tonight. That's all I gotta say.
So much shiny red buttons.
Press them all!
Oh, but I could only press one at a time.
But they're shiny. You must press them. Press the buttons.
We have a candidate for the furthest top button.
Yes, very top button. That is a very good one. And then you press the bottom button.
What does button
Top
do?
button, not blue. Blue, yellow. Okay.
Next button.
Bottom button.
Bottom button.
Yes, let's see what it does. Wait. Wait.
Oh,
What's
that
say,
leaves
Saturn Dance?
that leaves the room. You choose well.
Oh, you're actually supposed to leave the room?
I don't know. The random other person that just showed up, that would be Twisted Puppet. Say hello.
Hi. I'm waving at the screen because nobody can see it.
Okay, if I remember correctly, you know what? Let's go ahead and demonstrate what the previous buttons do. I think we hit the top the up button first, then and then the down button, which did something else.
What's the slurping noise I hear?
That's coming from the game.
Oh, that's weird.
Yeah, this was done on a shoestring budget.
I don't know why it's slurping, but okay. Dude, the second season of American Horror Story is fucked up.
See what the pause button does.
Pauses the game, silly.
Well, it brought us back here. So we get to choose a different button.
No!
Okay, we know the bottom button leaves the room, but what do the other buttons do?
I don't know, press one.
Press one?
Pick random. Yeah, pick one at random. Jack Mahal, yeah, there's a second season, and there's about to be a third season. Come later this year.
We have one vote for left middle and one vote for top left.
Let's go left middle.
Left middle? Okay.
Yeah, let's go left middle. Where's who girl at?
She went to bed, I think.
But left her Skype on?
Yep.
Awesome song. Let's wake her up. Hey! Wake up!
You're mean.
It's 1 o'clock in the morning and I don't care.
Actually, it's 2:30. Oh, yeah, it's 1 over in Tennessee.
It's Central Time Zone.
Forgot about that. It's 2:03 over here. Okay.
I'm back. I might need to go get some more vodka.
Who would have thought that an umbrella would have 10 buttons?
Yeah, they only come with one. One's all you need to shoot the pellet with the rice in it. Then you know.
Aye, 'tis true. So which button should I press?
I think you should press the middle green one.
The middle green one, because it's purty?
Yes, green because it's pretty.
I'm getting conflicting answers. One
Green
is saying the top.
it's pretty. Come on now. We must continue the tradition. Why am I touching the lens of my camera? He's got boobs.
So we know what the middle green button does.
Try the top left blue one.
The top blue one.
Top left blue one, yeah. Diablo, get off the couch. Stop that. Stop that. You have a scratching post. Use it. Is it crowing? Okay, what the hell is with this game? Were they all on fucking acid?
Makes you wonder, don't it?
Oh my god, dude. Is this a Sega Saturn game?
Sega CD.
Sega CD? Oh, some of them are actually fucking good enough not to be shitty? Dude, no, it was a Saturn, I think. The fucking Saturn. I played this game, that fucking Aerosmith game.
Revolution X?
Yeah, I played that up at a friend's house because they got one of those. And it sucked. Oh my god, it was bad.
What if we
were fucking wonky as shit.
What if we took Terminator 2 and replaced it with Aerosmith?
No, dude, they didn't even do that. It was just you fucking shooting goddamn vinyl records at the fucking screen. That's all it was.
What, you weren't shooting laser discs?
No. It was a side-scrolling shooter. Where it was kind of sort of side-scrolling, except for the fact that you were side-scrolling, and it was first-person. Think of that for a second. First-person side-scroller. God, it was such shit. It was kind of like if you were playing Doom, but you could only fucking go sideways. And you were shooting fucking vinyl records at every goddamn thing. Kid Grim, this is not breaking your mind. This was a real fucking game, and it was that bad. I think the Angry Video Game Nerd needs to fucking find this game and cover it, because I think it would break his fucking soul.
He does have a Saturn.
Yes, he does.
Although I would believe that Super Monkey Adventure for the Famicom would break his mind even more.
I don't think he even plays Famicom games. He's not an import guy.
He does have a Famicom. He got one just to play Transformers.
Ah.
Yeah.
I bet he had to fucking get adapter just to fucking plug that in.
Yeah, you're right. He probably didn't get the Hong Kong version like I got, which does have an AV set of outputs.
Well, the original Famicom has AV setups too. It's just that it's a Japanese power supply. It's not fucking the same plug as our plugs. It's wonky as shit. You know, you gotta get a fucking adapter for that.
Actually, you just need the standard NES plug for the Famicom. However, for the disc, that is a different story. I needed my Sega CD plug for that.
That's funny.
Yeah, I thought so too. I'm gonna get a real one of these days.
What the hell my cat is doing? But he's just perched himself on the fucking chair arm. And he's just sitting there.
Kitty cat wants some love.
I don't know what kitty cat wants. He's not on my chair arm. He's on the chair arm of the big chair we have in here.
Also, Enforcer, that the top blue one was the one we just pressed.
Okay, now, middle blue.
Middle blue.
Fuck yeah, middle blue.
Yay, we progress.
Cool. Oh, hey, did you take a look at the at modding your Super Nintendo?
I considered it, but I also got that TriStar converter.
Well, yeah. But if you don't want to fool with a fucking converter, I mean, seriously. All you gotta do is clip those fucking plastic parts. That's literally the only thing that they have holding you back from playing a fucking Famicom game, Super Famicom game in your Super Nintendo.
True.
But I did it to mine and bought Mario to Wario. And I also bought Mario Paint so I could get the mouse. And it's actually a pretty fun game. I did like it. I need to break out my freaking Nintendo and all that.
Oh, I gotta show you this.
I just haven't felt like fucking playing any goddamn games lately, dude.
I gotta show you what happens when I press the nose. Because we did this one earlier.
Ooh, yes. Show the nose. Press it.
Bang.
Oh, snap, dude, you killed him. Oh, brought back to life. Oh, fuck, run.
Okay, we haven't done the... Okay, we know that the left lip exits the scene.
Do the eye, left eye.
We have yet to do the left eye and the right mouth.
Do the left eye.
The left eye.
Yeah.
What does the left eye do?
I don't know, let's try. Click it! Click it. Hold on a second. Get down from that table! Get down from the table! That's what he was doing. Waiting until my back was turned. So that he could jump up and on the table.
Just to be on the table or do something on the table?
Probably to chew on plastic. He's got a plastic fetish.
Ugh. Plastic fetish.
Yeah. It is not good. Almost had to take him to the vet if he had to poot out all of the freaking plastic he ate that one time.
I should mention that the left eye made Frankenstein crumble into ashes.
Aww.
Yeah.
My Mystics is yelling at my stupid cat.
We can do it again.
Yeah, do it again. What is with the freaking slurping?
It's shoestring.
Hold on a second, I gotta take care of something. Stop chewing on the plastic! Stop that!
Speaking of chewing... We have one vote for the bottom left. Looks like a ye old TV to me.
Cool.
Bottom left, according to the chat, that's what they want to see.
Do it! Apparently all he wanted was some more food. We fed him earlier today, and apparently he ate it all. Okay, that's funny. Random one, just pick random one.
We got bottom right for a vote.
Okay, bottom right then.
Bottom right. Oh, it leaves the scene. Light bulb with humongous amounts of lights.
Cool. Dude, there was a shooting outside my freaking apartments last night. I don't know if anybody got hurt, because there were no ambulances that showed up. But I was like fucking trying to go to sleep, and I had a movie playing on my phone. Nothing with, guns in it, because it's just fucking, The Gamer's Darkness Rising. But, now I was listening to that, and then all of a sudden I hear, like, pop, pop, pop outside. I'm like, what the fuck? And then it took me a second to realize that it was gunfire, Because the only time I've ever really heard gunfire is fucking in movies, and it sounds like way different. And I remember what the fuck it was. I'm like, oh shit. And I'm like, I go up and look out my window, and there's like fucking people scattering in the parking lot. I'm like, what? I had to call 911. Because I didn't know if they were still having a fucking incident out there or not. Yeah. This is life in the big city. When you're in Nashville, you're never very fucking far away from the gun violence. No matter what neighborhood you're in. I guess I was out there having an argument or something, and somebody pulled out a gun and started fucking firing it. I don't think anybody got hurt. What button are you gonna press?
That's a good question. What button am I going to press?
Press the center of the block of 9.
The center of the block of 9. That would be the absolute center here, correct? Oh, that would be up here.
Yeah. Because it's 2 parts. The up one. Yeah. It's 2 parts. Oh shit, Enforcer. I'm sorry. Yeah, fucking Las Vegas is pretty bad. Ooh, pretty dragon. Hey, it's Duresh.
I'm going to attempt to keep an eye on what buttons we pressed. Let's see. That was a neon dragon. Okay.
Hey, Enforcer, what branch you in? Enforcer wants the 4th row right button.
4th row right button.
Air Force, huh?
Allow me to introduce
I'll enough at my job. I do good with a lot of Air
inventor
Force.
and father of the electric light bulb.
We have more Air Force calling in than we
Junior,
do Navy or
do
Marines.
your stuff.
Air Force does a lot of joint stuff with the Army.
So, we learned that Thomas Edison invented the light bulb? Okay.
Actually, no, Thomas Edison didn't invent the light bulb. he improved upon it. Well, kind of, sort of, by making it his original design used carbon.
Fuck Edison.
Yeah, fuck Edison. But his original design used carbon instead of the tungsten that's used today. And see, somebody else had already created it. He just, did it out of the most obnoxiously fucking hard goddamn substance to use. He got it to work, but, Edison was a dick. Sometimes he made them better.
Edison.
Yeah, he was the original patent troll. He's
exactly.
That's who fucking Apple learned it from. Fuck Steve Jobs. I don't care if he's dead or not. Fuck him.
The cat agrees.
Damn straight he does.
What button should I press next?
What the fuck is your problem?
Maybe the cat wants to press a button.
I don't know what the fuck his problem is. Let me go check the litter box.
Top row, left.
What do you want? Come here.
Okay, next button.
What is wrong with you, cat?
Wait, how did that not win?
Silly ass cat. Gotta use a litter box. Okay, he's being stupid tonight.
Okay, we have two candidates, third row middle and the bottom middle.
Yeah, let's do third row middle.
Third row middle, coming up.
There's no bottom middle. Diablo! What is wrong with you? Settle your ass down. Hey, I think this might work. Here. You're just pent up. You want some playtime. Here's some playtime.
By the way, this is my progress chart. My goal is to get to that shiny block on the very, very bottom.
Oh, Jesus, fuck.
Yeah, it's a long way to go. And for whatever reason, I have went to the... Yeah, let's go ahead and save game. Okay, what button should I press next? You got Santa. Seriously, how not win?
Alright, press the far bottom right.
The far bottom right.
Yeah. The one at the way at the bottom on the right. You know. The lowest of the low. Well, it didn't do anything, but it is pretty.
What next?
Bottom left. Oh, Diablo, are you tired already? Chase the light. Chase the light.
Bottom left. Evidently, we're in an airlock with a bunch of spacesuits. I must have a button.
Press the middle button with the exclamation point on it.
The middle. And that leaves the room.
That's what you wanted, wasn't it?
I suppose. And I accidentally pressed start, which takes me to the save menu again. Okay, where did that take me?
Okay, I think I tired his little butt out. That didn't take much, apparently. Yeah, left eyebrow.
The left eyebrow.
Yeah. I showed my sister earlier because we were waiting for the episode to load for the American Horror Story. So we watched a very Linkara and Lupa Christmas. My sister even laughed. She thought parts of it were funny. And then when they started puking, she was all like, my sentiments too. Yeah, that is such a horrible Christmas special. I like that though, kidnap button. Middle lips.
The middle lips.
Yeah. The middle of her smile.
Well, I would go along with that, but Kid Grimm has suggested the right eye.
Aww.
But we can go with the middle lip now.
Okay, cool. Yay, middle lip!
Advance to next level.
Dude, I bought curry sauce mix.
Sauce mix.
Yeah, for curry.
Hmm.
I'm gonna try it. I got the mild, so it's like it says it's got a touch of apple and honey in it. But I'm not gonna like put vegetables and crap in it because I can't eat vegetables. You know, texture stuff. So I was just trying to see what else I can add besides chicken.
Let's see the levels.
I haven't opened the box yet. I went to the Asian market today. It took me almost forever to find it. And I thought I went down the wrong aisle again. This is like the only one I found that was freaking mild. All of them were like medium hot and hot. But then I found this Vermont curry. Looks like it's got writing in Japanese and also in Korean.
Kid Grim is picking all the advance to next level buttons.
Cool. Green dot.
Green dot. That would be the
One at the bottom. Oh, cool. It's got banana in it. Hey, I wonder if buying a banana would be good. And putting it in the curry. I've never had curry before, though, so I don't know. I know a friend of mine who makes his own curry, but he uses, like, the curry powder. But I don't do that. I want the sauce mix. I've never tried it before, and I don't know how to make it. But he put, like, cranberries and raisins in his. I don't know if I want to put raisins in mine. It's a good thing I got a new saucepan. Ooh, I also got some stir fry oil for cooking rice. So that's gonna be good the next time I make rice, chicken and rice. Dude, I don't know I don't know what curry banana would be or not, but if the paste, the blocks of sauce, has banana as part of it. Apparently also cheddar. Dude, cool, it's got cheddar cheese and stuff.
middle red.
Look up curry bananas.
Hello?
I don't even know.
Oh, my darling. I've been waiting for you. See? You soon?
You even have banana curry? Yes, they have banana curry. Wow, okay. Spicy banana curry.
William Shatner, go away.
4 teaspoons curry paste. Curry paste and curry powder when you can just use a freaking sauce packet. Bananas diced. Ooh, ground ginger. Does this have ginger in it? Because I'll have to add ginger, but I want ginger. I think you're supposed to add it to a broth, but I'm not entirely sure. So I've got these chicken broth cubes that I'm going to use. I think I'm going to try this tomorrow. I think I might only need like 2 cubes though, because I'm only making it for one person.
Can you make some for the rest of the chat?
No, because they can't eat it.
Oh.
Because they'll be, not here.
Oh, pooey.
I've never tried this before. I've never done this, so I don't know what to do. It says it has 12 servings, so I suppose to make it, I only need 1 cube. But I might make it for 2 and just use like 2 or 3. Dude, the Asian market was fun today. It's actually just an international market, because it's got Hispanic food there too, and Indian food, and all kinds of other food. I found my new favorite ramune flavor. Coconut. Coconut flavored ramune food is awesome. I'm not supposed to really have fucking sugar, because you're being diabetic and all, but sometimes I like the splurge. This is gonna be interesting. How do you think chicken and banana would taste?
Chicken and banana.
Yeah. Put bananas in the curry.
Honestly, I never would have thought of it.
I don't know, I probably shouldn't be experimenting like that on the first time. Maybe later on. Because this stuff is like for this one little packet. For this, that's got two trays in it of 4 cubes each. Yeah, 4 cubes each. Actually, I think it's got 4 cubes. I don't know. I should open this and see. Oh no, it's got 6 cubes each. Okay. This is even more. Okay. It's got 6 cubes in there.
Oops, we blew up the Statue of Liberty.
Oops, look it over it. But yeah, there's like freaking 6 cubes per block, so... That's good, that means I can use it for a lot, so... Because, yeah.
The enforcer did it. I never.
Yeah, but enforcer, haven't you been picking the ones that do it?
Kid Grimm has been advancing us through the levels.
Zoidberg?
Say what now? Couldn't hear you.
Did he just do a Zoidberg?
I...
Do you see what he wrote in chat?
He might have.
Fucking Zoidberg! Fucking Zoidberg, what the shit, dude? I'm kind of excited about this curry. And apprehensive at the same time. Dude, it's fucking heavy. You should feel this shit, it's heavy.
So, chat room, which button should I press next? Where do we go from here?
I think you need to do bottom right.
Chat room saying top right.
Chat room is not always right. Bottom right. Why? Because it has that weird looking face on it. Do that.
Sadly, Twisted Puppet's got a point. I listened to the chat and I blew up the Statue of Liberty.
I'm not saying the chat blew up the Statue of Liberty or nothing. I'm just saying you want the weird looking face. I don't know what that did. Oh God, what the hell? Okay, we got this, right?
We have an X-ray room.
Orange ball.
The orangey ball.
Yes, the orange knob ball. Fucking take that one. While the chat room's still friggin' horrified by the skeleton. Holy shit, Olaf, what is that? Yeah, you sit there looking stern, but dude. Okay, blue triangle, fuck it, blue triangle. I have not killed us all. It went away, it's gonna be fine. It'll fall later on, because, slippery ice and such, and it'll poke its eye out, it'll be okay. It'll be okay. Poking the eye out. And you thought what I did was wrong. No, this is wrong. So yeah, blue triangle, yeah. Fucking unleash that on the goddamn world. That's Robotnik, dude. Fucking release Robotnik. What the hell's wrong with you? Alright, you know what? Green dongle carrot dingleberry thing. Green dingleberry, get to it.
Yes, ma'am.
I should really go to sleep, but fuck it, I don't want to. Okay, what's green dingleberry do? See, I told you, Robotnik! I told you guys, Robotnik shit, Robotnik is fucking taking over, man. Okay, white circle.
White circle.
Yeah, we'll do the white ball. See, Enforcer agrees, white ball. White ball, white ball, white ball, white ball!